Listen up, people. Manscaped have done it again. This time, it's the Chairman Pro, giving you a clean, close shave. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro has long-lasting battery life. And you use the code FTM20 and you will get 20% off of this product. Big up to every single one of you people. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are listening around the world. 12th Man is back. Arsenal Talk Show is back. Myself talking about all things Arsenal. But I'm going to actually mention a couple of things tonight because there has been some games and we cannot not touch on Manchester United and Chelsea, can we? Big up to everybody that's here nice and early. Absolute legends, every single one of you. Yeah, Dev, we've got Anthony, Guna Legend, JFO in the house. We've got Wolsey. Oh, how I would love Isak. Niffin, big up to you. Ash, good to see you, my bro. Mohammed, we've got Gunner 20J. Tanya in the house. We've also got Liam. We've got the Assembled. We've got Shiam. We've got quite a few of you here. Brilliant to see. Mansa. And of course, we've got none other than Mrs. Potts in the house. Jay's also here as well. We've got Maximum. You're all absolutely flying through. Big up to every single one of you for being here. There's a couple of things you need to do. First of all, hit the like button. Make sure you've hit subscribe. They're 2 free buttons that absolutely need to be done because we are the closest that we can ever be. The closest we can ever be to the big 3-0. We've hit 29 and now we are under 900 away from hitting 30. So let's make sure that you all hit the subscribe button so that we can all get close to the big 3-0 for 2025, which was my target. So if we can get to the big 3-0 for the start of 2025, that would be amazing. The other things I need to let you know about, you need to get involved with this because there is not long left, people. The draw is tomorrow night. If you haven't done so already, they're 99 pence for a football match of your choice. Would you want to go to the North London Derby? Do you want to go to the Emirates? Do you want to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Old Trafford, Etihad, Stamford Bridge? The list goes on. You can. If you're in with a shout of this for just 99 pence, using the code FTM10 to get 10% off, you can get involved in the match day draw, which will be live tomorrow evening for New Year's Eve. If you are following Reality Raffles on Instagram, you will be able to watch it live to see if you have won. It is a football match day package up to £500 with unbelievable prizes for instant wins as well. So please make sure that you are in it to win it. Pin to the comment sections now is the link, or you can go to the link in the description and you can get your tickets there. Please do not miss that chance because you've only got now till tomorrow night to get it sorted. So please make sure you do that. And of course, you got to get hold of Manscaped for 20% off. FTM20 is the code that you need, people. So please make sure that you're in with a chance to get Manscaped and their products. Brilliant stuff. Right, let's get into it, shall we? Tonight's game. Wow. Let's start there because I do want to talk about my favourite Premier League player outside of Arsenal, and it is Alexander Isak. And yeah, Wolsey's going to get the hump in the chat. Newcastle fans are going to come for me, but I don't care. I've already bigged up Newcastle quite a lot. I already tipped you for top 4 and everybody laughed. And now they're catching up top 4. 1 game a week. Trust me, they are a very, very good outfit. And I always knew they had the players. I think as a balanced midfield, it's one of the best trios in the league at the moment, if not the best. I think it's between Chelsea, Liverpool and Newcastle right now. I think their balance is superb. Tonali's a baller. Bruno G is a beast. And Joe Linton is one of the hardest opponents to come up against. I would not want to face him. Trust me. Look, we've got to talk about Isak because he is an absolute terror. He was phenomenal tonight. And I look at every part of his play and I'm so jealous that we don't have something like that in our attack. I don't like to compare him to players. I don't like to say, oh, he's like Thierry Henry or he's like Kylian Mbappe or he reminds me of this, that and the third. I just think he's a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal talent. And people won't like me to bang on about it because we're not going to get him in January. But he's my number 1 target. Take it as a compliment, Newcastle fans. He is an absolute baller. Just do me a favour and accept the compliment. Don't get rattled by it. Don't get annoyed. Oh my God, Dan wants Isak. Oh, let's all cry. Nah, man, take it as a compliment. I want him because he's a baller. I'm not knocking on your door saying that I want, Kieran Trippier, am I? Why? Because he's not the player I want. I want Isak because he's a baller. In fact, there's 3 players I'd take from Newcastle. Bruno G, Anthony Gordon, and Isak. I'll take all three of them because I think they're better than what we've got. And I think that shows where Arsenal are and where Newcastle are right now, because I feel for me, Newcastle are on the up, definitely. And they have a very good 11, which is why one game a week I tipped them to get into the Champions League. But there is a but. Manchester United, in the words of Deji Spurs, are the dustiest team in the Premier League right now. And it doesn't matter what manager they have, it doesn't matter what ownership they have, or what board or what structure is in place, that squad is abysmal. It's one of the worst squads in the league. And they're struggling, big time struggling. I don't rate any of their players. I was asked yesterday, would you take any Manchester United players? My answer was no. There's only really 2 or 3 that I like the look of, and they're all young. Amad Diallo, Lenny Yoro, and Kobe Mainu. They're the only 3 players I think that might have something a bit about them, but they ain't going to do anything surrounded by that mess. Manchester United as a football club has been a graveyard for a long time, and every player that's gone there has failed. Whether they're proven like Casemiro or Varane, whether they're an upcoming youngster like Marcus Rashford, whether they're a world superstar potential like Paul Pogba, they have all failed. Why? Because unfortunately, the club is toxic at the moment and they need to rip it up and start again. Now, will Ineos do that with this team? Will Ineos rip up that squad and say, let's start again? Because they've not even gone into a rebuild yet. They've spent a hell of a lot of money. The rebuild has not been good. So the rebuild now needs a rebuild 6 months to 12 months later. I'm not sure I rate any of them, if I'm honest. I'm not sure I rate any of them. I don't like their goalkeeper. I don't rate any of their defenders other than potentially Lenny Yoro because I think he's got something about him. I don't rate any of their midfield other than Kobe Mainu, but even then I believe he's overrated by a lot of Manchester United fans. I don't rate any of their forward line other than Amad Diallo, who's shown glimpses of it. But again, he's young, and I probably will say it again, he's probably overrated by Man United fans. But let's just have it right. Xerxes and Højlund are awful. Garnacho and Rashford are a disgrace. Bruno Fernandes is the worst captain in the Premier League. I don't rate Ugarte or Casemiro, let alone the double pivot of those two. I don't see what De Ligt is so great at, personally. He didn't do very well other than at Ajax. Juventus said no thank you. Bayern Munich said would rather play Eric Dyer. And now Manchester United are finding out why. He's not that great. Lisandro Martinez is a 5'8" centre-back. That's enough said. And the goalkeeper couldn't catch a cold. So for me, I think it's hilarious. Long may it continue. Can they get relegated? I don't think they can. No. But you know why? Because there's worse teams than Manchester United in this league. That's the only reason. It's not because they're too good or because Manchester United will have enough because they've got quality players. It's because there's 4 or 5 teams that will probably finish below them indefinitely because they're just not that great. They're just a bad outfit, man. Bad outfit. But big up to Newcastle. Because where there was quality and skill and class tonight, it shone through, and I thought Newcastle were it. I've been a big fan of Lewis Hall for this season. I think he's been phenomenal. Anthony Gordon, I'm a fan of. I've spoken about Isak. I've spoken about Bruno G before. Big fan of Joe Linton and Tonali. And I think with 3 or 4 more players in January, if they're allowed to sign them, or across the summer, Newcastle will start to progress. And fair play to them. Their fan base deserve it, man. They've been through hell under Ashley and all that co. So for me, I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for them. I do think they're a good side. It's a quality place. It's a great night out. And they're a great fan base. So I haven't really got any hate for Newcastle. And I'm saying that a team that we struggle against. We've never been great against Newcastle away, if I'm honest. In the last few seasons, we've always struggled up there. And they've given us tough games at the Emirates, to be fair. Albeit we've beaten them most of the time, but they've given us a good go. But they're a great team to watch when they're on fire. But I want Isak. I want Isak because we know what we've got to do to break that bank. And that's going to cost between 100 and 150 million pounds. Go and do it, Arsenal. Please, go and do it. I would rather go and spend that much, like a Declan Rice money, on a striker because we haven't done it yet, people. We've spent it combined. We've spent a lot of money. We've spent wages on Willian and Sterling. We've spent money on Havertz. We've spent money on Jesus. We've spent money on Trossard. But actually, when you look at combining that, I'd rather have an Alexander Isak than Sterling, Jesus, Havertz and Trossard. and Willian, who was the other one years ago we spent money on. I know it was free, but the wages were a joke. So that's 6 players. I'd rather go break the bank on somebody like that. Real talk, he's a phenomenal talent. And if that means that we don't get somebody else, then fair play. Because do you know what? I'll make do with the 400 midfielders and the 400 left backs that we've got. I'll make do with Jesus out wide if we bring it to cover for Saka. If we bring in Isak, I don't care. Go and get this guy, man. He's phenomenal. And what it would do is it would show all of the fan base that the Cronkies are serious. It would show all of the rival fans that Arsenal are serious. And it will show Isak that actually he's got a future at the club to wear that number 14 shirt that Thierry Henry wore and say, this is how you wear it, Eddie Nketiah. Goal, 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 goal. He hasn't actually been injured this season other than, I think he had hurt his toe or something and was out for a couple of games. He's brilliant. Now, I saw him 3-4 seasons ago at Real Sociedad. And it was actually Tom Canton. Big up to him. And congratulations to him, by the way, for his promotion. Absolute legend. Good lad. Really happy to see that he's doing well. I heard about it from him. I thought, who the hell is Alexander Isak? Never heard of him. He said, he looks good. He looks like a Marcus Rashford type player that can play out wide and come in the middle. Because he was compared to that type of player, I was like, don't want him. I don't like Rashford. Started looking at him and I thought, actually, he's better than Rashford. I can see that already. This guy is superb. And he went to Newcastle for 51 million on the release clause. And I thought, why did we not do that? Oh, we don't need him. He trusts Eddie. Arteta thinks Eddie's going to do well. How did that go? And then I saw him at Newcastle when they got top 4. And I saw him last season and I thought, yeah, you're quality. And I've seen him this season and I think he's quality as well. Now, let me ask you, chat, and be honest with this. Would you rather go and get our midfield sorted, a winger like I don't know, Kudus, people have mentioned, or Nico Williams, as people have mentioned, Kvaratskhelia, who I would love on the left, which we're not going to get? Or would you rather go and get Isak? Let me know. Just put Isak if you'd rather have Isak. Because I bet the chat and most Arsenal fans are in agreement with me. Give me Isak. Just give me Isak. I don't care if we don't get a winger on top of that then. I don't care if we don't get a midfielder on top of that then. This is January. I'm not expecting 4 or 5 players. Across the 2 windows, I am. Because across the 2 windows, I think we need to sort every department out. And I don't mean go and buy 11 players, by the way. We need to sort the goalkeeping situation out if it's not going to be Neto in the summer. We need to sort the defence out if it's not going to be Tierney, Kivior, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, etc. We need to sort Partey and Jorginho situation out in the summer. And we need to sort what's happening with Saka's cover and who's our left winger going to be, as well as our striker. So, yeah, if I'm honest with you, that's potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more players that may have to come into Arsenal across these next 2 windows. But you know what that is, people? That's just progression. That's just how you evolve. That's just how you get by. So when people say, oh my God, this process is looking really good, it looks like we're nearly there. Nah, man, this process is finished. It's now about evolving and becoming a proper squad of players that's competitive. And I don't think at 5 years in, 6th season as Arsenal manager, he's completed one department yet. Nobody wants a cup-tied 36-year-old goalkeeper. Nobody wants a left-back they can't decide on. No one wants a situation where you've got no cover for Saliba. Nobody wants a situation where Partey and Jorginho are up and who's going to play in the 6 and the 8 next season. Who's going to be our right wing cover for Saka and who's going to start in the left wing and who's going to be our Odegaard cover and our number 9. All of those question marks, nobody can tell me. So that means we haven't completed yet. That means we're still quite a way off. So I have to say, Isak would be an unbelievable signing, but it ain't going to be in January. And I'm going to say something now which might shock quite a few people. I don't think we sign anybody from the Premier League. That means we won't sign Cunha, João Pedro, Bryan Mbeumo, Kudus, Semenyo. We won't get anybody in the midfield area. We won't get anybody from defence. That's my honest opinion. I think we're going abroad, if at all. Now, we definitely will get rid. Fabio Vieira rumours, I don't believe it. Marquinhos coming back, I think he'll be back out to Brazil. Kieran Tierney, I think he'll go to Celtic. Kivior, potentially, which means we might need another defender. Wow, can you believe it? We actually might be going for a defender in this January. More on that in a minute. Been linked to who? Strikers? No. Wingers, midfielders, not yet. But I'll tell you who we have been linked with. In fact, I'll tell you who we have been linked with. Let's take a look, shall we? Let's get excited, people. We're linked with another left back, people. We are linked with another left back. Arsenal and Spurs are set to battle each other in the race to sign Crystal Palace left back Tariq Mitchell. I'm a fan of him. I like him. But really? Are we going in for a left back who, let's be real, is not going to be guaranteed a start when you've got Lewis Skelly to back up Calafiori with Timber and Tomiyasu who can play there and Zinchenko and Kivior and Tierney all still at the club and we're going for another left back? Surely. Luckily, it's an unreliable source. I don't believe caught offside to be a reliable source. Yeah. If rumours are believed to be true, Arsenal want Tariq Mitchell. Now, I'm a fan of him. I like him. I think he's got good potential. And I actually do believe he deserves an England call-up now. I think him and Lewis Hall are the two left-backs I'd probably pick for England in the next tournament, to be fair, because Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell and all the other guys that have been selected before just ain't it. And in fact, I think Lewis Skelly's got more of a shout than those if he continues to play so well at left-back. I don't think this is a rumour that I believe. I don't think this is something that I want. This is not something to bolster Arsenal Football Club. This is not going to be a signing that people go, wow. People are going to laugh at this signing because they're going to be like, right, so that's Nuno Tavares, Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Calafiori, Kivior, potentially Mitchell, Timber who can play there, and there's someone else I've missed as well. That's potentially 8 or 9 left backs. It's absolutely mad. It really is mad. So, look, I don't see that is what we need whatsoever. But there are rumours, and it isn't just the left back situation. We're linked with another position. I need a drum roll on this. I need StreamYard needs to put a drum roll in because this is a really exciting one as well. It's another goalkeeper, people. Arsenal are interested in another goalkeeper. According to the Mirror, we're interested in Juan Garcia still from Espanyol, but they remain insistent that his 25 million release clause is paid. My goodness. My goodness. This is how laughable it is. Now, look, I don't believe all these rumours before people start saying you're losing your head for no reason. But why on earth are we linked with left backs and goalkeepers? And I don't care if the sources are unreliable or reliable, to be honest. I just don't like to be reading that Arsenal are linked with goalkeepers and left backs still. When it's taken us God knows how long to replace Emi Martinez. We had Leno, we had Ramsdale, we've had Matt Turner, we've had Matt Ryan, we've had Runnison, we've now got Neto. We had one last season as well. We've obviously got this Setford who's come in now. We've got Nyland who's been brought in. And now we're linked with this guy. Now, Juan Garcia was actually a player that we went for in the summer. We didn't get him. It was actually Edu and Arteta that were disagreeing about this. I think Arteta wants him. Edu isn't too sure. Edu's now gone. So Jason Ato, who's taken Edu's place, is probably the guy that's now trying to get this one done for the summer, if I'm honest with you. Stop buying goalkeepers. Cole Hine. Thank you, Red Skull. That's another one. Cole Hine. How many goalkeepers do we need? I think we're okay with left backs and goalkeepers, Mikel. We need a striker and a number 8. Let's sort that out, please. Wow. Unbelievable, isn't it? It really is crazy. But unfortunately, this is what's happening at the moment at Arsenal. Look, there's no denying that we need to understand who our 2 goalkeepers are in the summer. At the moment, we know it's Raya and Neto, and we're cool with that. There's no denying that we need to understand who our left back is, but I think it's Calafiori, right, when everybody's fit. And it looks to me as if Lewis Skelly's in that bracket as well as backup. I've been so impressed with him, people. I really have. I think it's been quite exceptional at times, and I've been quite impressed by his level of consistency with his performances. So I think, to be fair, it's definitely someone I would like to keep an eye on. But if it's not going to be breaking the bank for Isak in the summer or in January, which I'm going to be honest with you, I actually don't think it will be. It certainly won't be for January. Maybe we could go and do some madness in the summer, but Newcastle don't want to sell. And actually, if Newcastle do get Europe, which I think they could do, I think he definitely stays for another season at Newcastle. So I have to see how unsettled he can be. But trust me, he's an absolute baller. But we are finally linked with a striker. And of course, we know who it is. It is
Omar Marmoush. He is a Frankfurt striker, and he's an Egyptian striker, one of the forwards, I have to say, that has impressed me quite a lot with his scoring ability at Frankfurt. And he's the manager, is it Dino Top He's been fantastic. And I think he's going to be a manager that a lot of people look at. Marmoush has been phenomenal. He's got a great right foot on him. He can play out left, wide, as well as through the middle. He's been seen as an exciting prospect, an Egyptian striker who does have his heart set on Premier League football. He's a player who's at the moment got some phenomenal stats, which we're going to go through now because I was actually quite impressed when I was reading them just before we went live. He's a player that I did know a little bit about, but if I'm honest with you, I didn't know too much until I started to delve a little bit deeper. This is his record at Frankfurt in the last 2 seasons. He last season got 12 goals in 30 appearances with 6 assists, which, to be fair, 18 goals and assists in just 29 games is pretty decent. So far this season, he's already bettered what he did with half the amount of games. In just 15 games, he scored 13 goals and he's got 7 assists. That's 20 GA in just 15 matches. That is exceptional. Unbelievable form. He's 25 years old, so he's not a kid. He's an Egyptian international, probably a massive fan of Mo Salah. So I hope that he don't go to Liverpool because they'll be looking at a player like this as well, no doubt. But I feel like it's a potential signing that is fairly realistic for Arsenal to get done in January. A lot of people are talking about the release clause of Gyökeres and the release clause of Osimhen. But I think Marmoush is just as, if not more realistic than this, because at Frankfurt, who, by the way, are doing very well, it's not like it's a club that he's dreaming on playing for. It's not like he's never going to leave. So I think this one could be quite realistic as an opportunity. Big up to Suj, man. You're an absolute legend, bro. It says big up down in the community. Hit the like and subscribe. You, sir, are a hero. Suj says, I don't think much will happen in January, but if it does, I can see us going for another left back, goalkeeper, and potentially a centre back. And I want to be wrong. Well, Suj, guess what, my bro? You put that super chat in before I even started, and I didn't actually see the super chat. But who have I just said we're linked with? Tariq Mitchell, a left back, and Juan Garcia, a goalkeeper. We're not linked with a centre back. We're not linked with a midfielder, and we're not linked with a striker. But do you know what will probably happen this window, bro? You'll be right. We'll end up with another left-sided defender because Tierney and Kivior will be allowed to leave. Absolutely crazy. And I do have to say a massive thank you to you, my bro, because you've gifted 5 memberships. Suj, you are a legend. And I have to say for everyone listening, he is by far one of the most committed and one of the nicest gentlemen that I have in the 12-man community. Suj, you're a hero. I absolutely love the fact that you listen, and I love the fact that you support not just me, but a lot of other influencers and a lot of other content creators that I share platforms with. I see you in all the chats. I see you super chatting. I see you sending comments and interactions in, man. You, sir, are a hero, and big up to you, man. And thank you so much. For you to give 5 to the members of 12th Man, absolute hero, man. I really, really appreciate that. I really do. Big up to East London Gunnar for the super sticker. You're a legend, sir. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Get your questions in, people. Doesn't have to be super chat. Super chats, I love them. They'll always go to the front of the queue. I will always read out super chats. But let's get some questions on who you want Arsenal to sign. I really want to know who you want in January. I did a video not too long ago around Christmas time around what people believe we could do in January. There was Mbeumo mentioned, Cunha was mentioned, John Duran was mentioned, Isak mentioned, Gyökeres mentioned, Lookman was mentioned, Semenyo was mentioned, Kudus was mentioned, Gyökeres and Marmoush both being mentioned. Gabriel Peck from LA Galaxy over in the MLS was also mentioned by Sophie. But who do you guys want? Who do you want? Get your questions in, people. And we can go through some of them. Let's talk a little bit before we do that on Chelsea, because Chelsea fans do make me laugh, people. Chelsea fans are actually really quite funny. And I'll tell you why they're quite funny. The reason they're quite funny, big up to Max, by the way, absolute legend. Big up to Max every time. Legend. You are a legend, sir. The reason Chelsea fans make me laugh. Arsenal couldn't beat Everton. They couldn't beat Everton. Oh, Arsenal fans only had 1-0 against Ipswich. And I'm sitting there thinking, Carl, they're right, you know. We were awful. Couldn't beat Fulham. Couldn't beat Everton. We beat Ipswich 1-0. And Chelsea were like, hold my beer. We'll draw to Everton as well, Thea. And we won't draw to Fulham. We'll lose to them. And then we'll lose to Ipswich. Oh, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Chelsea have really been knocked down into reality that they're not in a title race. That lasted long. That lasted long, to be fair. Big up to Chazza. He says Delap. Do you know what? I'm a big fan of Liam Delap. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Liam Delap. And although I wouldn't take him at Arsenal in the number 9 role for the first team, I actually believe he'd probably do a better job than what we're doing right now. So fair play to you, my bro. LB's here. Arsenal fans aren't funny. Listen, man, I didn't say that. Trust me. You know as much as I do that we have a very deluded section of our fan base. But Chelsea fans are right up there with Spurs at times. They really are. And you know what? They are very sensitive, aren't they? They are the only fan base I know that have spent 1.5 billion, and because they're actually not, people aren't very happy with their squad and still think they need more, they can't take it. They absolutely hate it. And you know when you've rattled fan bases, when their reply is, oh, what are Arsenal doing? Not mentioned Arsenal. You don't have to mention your own club. You just have to mention theirs. They get very touchy. Oh, what are you doing then? What have you won in the last bit? It's just embarrassing, isn't it, really? Just knowing you know you've won. So anyway, that's the way I see it. Big up to you, though, LB. You are a ledge, mate, even though you're a Man City fan, who at the moment we can laugh at, which is probably a first for me in the last few years. So let's see how we go. Look, I didn't see the game tonight, Ipswich Chelsea. I didn't see it. I heard about it. I heard Disasi made a mistake. I heard the team selection was bad from Maresca. A lot of questions about him not using his subs at the moment or something I'm hearing from from Chelsea fans. So let's see, man, because I got to be real. I actually think Chelsea have done well so far. And I think Chelsea are a team that probably could and will get Champions League football. I just don't want to see them in the title race. And luckily, I don't think they're going to be. Big up to Amari Hutchinson, Arsenal, Hairlem boy. Then went to Chelsea, made one appearance, and then dunked on them tonight. Big up to him. Big up to Liam Delap as well, who assisted and scored tonight. I think he scored a penalty. So big up to them two players. Chelsea, it's always nice to see them mudded. Man United, it's just hilarious at this stage. And the thing is with Arsenal and United, people don't think there's a rivalry. Oh, there is. Trust me, there is. Youngsters might not remember, but when I was growing up in the 90s, it was the team that I absolutely hated. I didn't even hate Tottenham as much as Manchester United then, because Tottenham were nowhere near us. Yeah, they were nowhere near us. They were absolutely miles away. It was embarrassing. Then with Glenn Hoddle and all them, man, down in like 12th, 13th place, it was just like, see you later. But Fergie v Wenger is the rivalry that will never be beaten. Pep and Klopp high-fiving each other and hugging each other was no rivalry for me, man. That Wenger-Fergie one, that will never be beaten. That was lit. So I hate Man United, and it's beautiful to see. It really is beautiful to see. I can't lie to you. It's absolutely superb to see. So back to Arsenal. Marmoush. Yeah, I would be a fan of him. I look at those stats. 20 GA in 15 games. And it's the Bundesliga, so it's not like he's doing it in what people would call a Portuguese or French farmers league, right? It's a fairly competitive league. There's good teams in that division, right? You all rate Bayern Munich, you rate Dortmund, you rate Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. So let's be real. It's a league that I think we all respect and appreciate. And Marmoush is killing it. And Frankfurt are doing well too. And I think he'll do well, that manager. I think he'll get a job somewhere fairly decent after Frankfurt, because he's being looked at by quite a few at the moment. I think the style of play has been good. I think the way they've sort of brought an identity to their play has been quite appreciated by a lot of the German press. So I believe that he'll probably get a good job after he goes from Frankfurt. So yeah, man, let's see where we are. Let's bring a couple of these questions in, man. Get your questions in, people, and we'll go through them. Here we go. 093 says, you've got 100 million budget for January. Who are you getting? Well, if it gets Alexander Isak, that's who I'm going for as the number one. But I can't see Newcastle selling in January, even if we did slap that down. I really think they believe he's worth more. If I'm honest with you, I can see why. If Declan Rice is 100, then Alexander Isak's going to be 120, any 130. So who would I realistically go for that much money? I don't think he would cost as much as 100 million, but my number one would be Isak. My next one would be Kvaratskhelia for that much money. And then if we don't have a player that's realistically going to come because they want to stay or wait till the summer, then I would release the contract of Victor Gyökeres. That's what I would do. Osimhen would be up there as well. Marmoush would be up there as well. Lookman would be up there because I think he's a good player. But really and truly, let's just be 100 million pound. It's going to be Isak, Kvaratskhelia, or Gyökeres as the first three for me with that sort of money. So yeah, that's what I do, Bo. Big up to you, my bro. Chaitanya says, Dan, do you think that City are still in the title race? Pep isn't finished yet. Who will have a say in this season? I doubt under this ownership that we'll sign £100 million forward. But I would take Arda Güler on loan. That's a not realistic opportunity as well. I don't know that Real Madrid are wanting to sell him, however, and I'm not sure that Arda Güler wants to leave Real Madrid, but it's an option. I don't think Manchester City are in this title race. No, they're certainly not at the moment. And unless things change in January, they've got to January now. Let's just be real. I'm interested to see what they do. There's quite a lot of talk about them going for Bruno Guimaraes or Zubimendi or this Nico Gonzalez guy from Porto, who's the holding midfielder player who's been really good this season. I imagine they'll look to go for some form of attacking player as well, whether it be a winger or a centre forward. And it wouldn't surprise me if they looked at a fullback, Manchester City, as well, because Kyle Walker looks washed and they don't really seem to have any cover there. So that is three sort of areas that I believe in. But look, LB's in the chat. He'll tell you whether he thinks they're in the title race or not. I don't think they are. I don't think he believes they are. So, look, if he's still there, fair play. Big up to George, because earlier on you were saying about Nico Gonzalez and how good he's been, man. So, fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. And you would know. Trust me. You would definitely know. So, there we go. This is why I love LB, man. He's so real, so honest. Are you in a title race, LB? Are we bollocks? Nah, fair play to you. I don't think that you are, man. So, yeah, I have to see. I actually agree with Gunners that we're not in the race as well. I don't think that we are. A lot of people believe we are still in a title race. I just think we need to open our eyes and look at how we are right now. We ain't in no title race, in my opinion, because look at the way we're playing. It's just stinky in it at times. It's stinky. Let's just be real. So, it ain't for me, man. It ain't for me. Kwame says, Dan, what do you think of Bryan Mbeumo? I'm a big fan. You know, Guns was on last night with me. Lee Gunner said he doesn't want Mbeumo, but I actually think he's a very good player. I think this season he's been one of the top scorers, hasn't he? I think he's assisted and scored more than many. I think Brentford's attack's one of the best in the league from what I can see statistically. And at home, their record is very, very good, which is why I'm worried. Playing them tomorrow. Oh, sorry, the next day, New Year's Day. Yes, I would take him, though, 100%. And I think Brentford might be willing to sell because they're safe. Do you know, like when you've got Wolves, you've got Cunha, Wolves are in a bit of a mess and they're trying to stay up. They're not really going to want to sell Cunha, are they? But Bryan Mbeumo might be looked at and think, yeah, we've got rid of Tony. I know that we don't want to sell Mbeumo or Vissa, but we have got Vissa, we have got Sade, we have got some of the other players coming through, Lewis Potter, these kind of guys. Maybe we can afford to get some money from Mbeumo and re-strengthen it. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to do that, right? I think he's a good player. I don't think he's very old. And I actually do rate him. I think he's a talented player and one that can definitely cover for Saka, or to be honest with you, he might even look at it right now and think, actually, we can actually play. I can get some game time on the right-hand side. I think there's an opportunity for that to be the case because he's definitely getting into the first team right now if he comes in, right? Like, let's just be real. He's a player that I've always liked. He's a player that I've always looked at and thought, yeah, don't really understand why Liverpool haven't looked at him as an option for cover for Salah. Likewise, Arsenal. I think Spurs. I mean, Spurs paid 55 million for Brennan Johnson. Why don't they go and get Mbeumo for that money? You know, like, it's been poor, man. It really has. So that's the way I see it. So yeah, couple of opportunities there for sure. Let's take some more of your questions because there's quite a few coming in. Anyone that's got questions, please do let me know what they are. Put a little Q at the start so I know that it's a question. Yeah, otherwise I will not start it. And if you want to throw in a super chat, then please feel free. They'll go to the front of the queue. Kevin says, would you take Tony on loan? No, I think that ship sailed. And if I'm honest with you, bro, I don't think that Mikel Arteta wanted him ever. I don't think it's his sort of player. I don't think he likes the off the field antics. I don't think he's a player that was ever massively linked to Arsenal. There was an opportunity and there was a rumor suggesting that he did want to come to Arsenal and that we were quite close a couple of seasons ago. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I believe it. I think there's an option for us to go and get him, and I think he would be interested in coming. But I just think that ship sailed, man, and I think we can do better now. If I'm honest with you, I really do. So yeah, let's see. Here we go. I'd break the bank on Isak. He's £100 million player. Yeah, 100%, mate. I would. That is who I want as my number one. And he's been my number one for the whole time, to be honest. The only reason I changed it to Gyökeres is because I believed that it was more realistic. And that's why I've changed it to Gyökeres now. But if he was ever available, of course, I would go for Isak 100%. William says, should Arteta go if he wins nothing this season? Yes. Yes. There's only... the bare minimum expectation is two things: challenge and win a trophy. They're the two things that have to happen. He has to win a trophy and he has to challenge. And people say, well, it doesn't matter. You win a trophy, it don't matter. Yeah, it does. It does matter. If you win a trophy and you come fourth, that ain't good enough, is it? Yeah. If you win a trophy and you come second and you've taken Liverpool to the wire, give it another go, son. There's your trophy. You've said you can win something. You've bred a little bit of winning mentality. Give us some funds in the summer to strengthen the squad, and we go again to try and win the title in the Champions League. That's the way I see it, man. That's the way I see it. If he wins and he comes fourth or fifth, no, thank you. If he wins and he challenges, yes. If he wins nothing at all and he challenges, goodbye. But we all know what's going to happen. He'll get top four and he'll stay. That's what will happen because the Cronkies ain't serious, man. The Cronkies ain't serious. DJ, big up to you, man. He says, who would you get rid of in January if you could? I would get rid of, if I could. I mean, this is hard because I don't know who's going to want them. But I would get rid of Kieran Tierney because it's not fair. He's not wanted by the manager. I would get rid of Kivior because he's wanting to go from what we hear. I don't want players here who want to go. I'd get rid of Tomiyasu. I'd get rid of Zinchenko. That means we might need to bring in a defender or two, though. I don't really want to be doing that, but if you have to, we have to. Excuse me. I'd get rid of Sterling. Just let him go back. If we can, cancel it. And I would probably look to sell Jesus and bring in somebody. I'd probably look to sell Jesus, bring in a striker and a winger, and maybe a defender for those washed up ones that are injured. But that's me in control, and that ain't going to happen because Mikel Arteta won't do any of that stuff. Trust me, he won't. So that's that. This one comes in from Kevin, says, Partey's linked to Barcelona. Are you for it? I don't see him going, if I'm honest with you, until the summer. I think there's potentially a question mark in the summer, but I don't think that he's going to end up going. I think he might even stay. Yeah, I think he might stay. Because for me, Thomas Partey is still our best midfielder. He's still our best midfielder. So why on earth will we get rid of our best midfielder? This season, he's been our best player, right? And I understand that he's out in the summer of contract. And so is Jorginho. But I just feel like there's potentially a player there that we can't really afford to lose because in our midfield, he's the best in transition. He's the best number 6 at the club. He's probably best in a double pivot with Rice, in my opinion, because Rice then has a little bit of athleticism and legs alongside him. And I like Declan Rice in the 6 in midfield. So I think, I would keep hold of Thomas Partey, man. I'd keep hold of him. That's what I would do. But let me know what you would do, guys. Let me know what you'd do with Thomas Partey and Jorginho. Look, if I knew there was players coming in, if they said to me Partey and Jorginho are going because you're getting Frankie de Jong and Zubimendi, I'm going to go, yeah, cool, no problem. But we ain't going to be, are we? We ain't going to be. Guna Legend says, Dan, do you really think Arteta will sign a number 9 and a number 8 and ditch Havertz? I can't see it myself. Now, Turkish made a great point. Kai Havertz has been one of the worst signings for our Mikel Arteta. Why is that? Because he needed an 8 and he needed a 9 and he bought Havertz to play both and we still need a number 8 and we still need a number 9. And I thought it was spot on. It was really hard to disagree with it. Now, people might think that's harsh because actually Havertz hasn't been a flop. Havertz has actually been an okay player. He's contributed. He's been part of our squad. And to be fair, I actually do feel like there's a player there that can be a squad player. I think he should be playing in a kind of 20, 25 minutes impact sub. I don't think he should be a player that goes and spends his time at the 9 at Arsenal all the time. I don't think he should be our number 1 striker, but I certainly do believe that he's a very, very talented player as a squad player. But he's starting, and I don't like it. But the problem is, Mikel Arteta does. And what's frustrating is Mikel Arteta likes him in the 8 as well. Afsar, would you take Rashford on loan? I'm going to say this once. No! I hope I've made myself clear. I want that bloke nowhere near my club. And I said this earlier to Saeed and the gang. If we dare go and take a toxic, throw your toys in the pram, Teddy in the corner, rattle out the pram, Marcus Rashford, and put him on a stupid amount of money a week, just like we've done with Havertz, Sterling, and the co, I will go mental. We can't keep knocking on doors of top 6 clubs and asking them for their sloppy seconds. It is not what we do. Well, it is what we do. But trust me, we need to stop it. I want him nowhere near this club. And for those people who say, but Mikel Arteta can get the best out of him. Name me an attacker that Mikel Arteta's got the best out of people. I'll wait. Yeah, that's what I thought. There ain't one. CBB says, CB says, will you take Mitoma? I've not been impressed with Mitoma this season, man. I haven't been impressed with him. I think he's a talented player, and I think he's a great dribbler. I think he's good at take-ons. I think he's good at the ball at his feet. I've not seen much output from him, though, if I'm honest, in a Brighton shirt. So I want a striker and a winger and a left winger, right winger, that can actually contribute with goals between 10 and 20. And we all want a Salah and a Saka in our team. We're not going to probably get 2 of them. But when we had Saka, Martinelli, Ødegaard, and Jesus in that 22-23 season, Martinelli, Ødegaard, and Saka all got 15 goals, and Jesus got 10. Yeah, we didn't win the league, but that's the sort of output that we need from our front 4, in my opinion. So that's what I want, man. That's what I want. And I don't think Mitoma can do that. So no, I wouldn't take him. DJ says, your thoughts on the Brentford game on Wednesday? Yeah, do you know what? I don't have a clue what day it is now. I really am so lost around the festive period. No one has a bloody clue, do they? You just wake up and you just drink and eat again because it's Christmas. So no one has a clue what day it is. It's absolutely mad. I'm going 1-0 to the Arsenal. I'm going 1-0 to the Arsenal because that's all I've got, guys, at the moment. My head's telling me that we're going to draw the game. My heart's telling me we're going to nick it. We nicked it last year, so let's go for another nick, shall we? I'll go for 1-0 to the Arsenal. I'll be doing a show on that, by the way, people. Big up, Hotsy. Big up to you, Nifan. Should we pay the release clause for Osimhen? Yeah, if that's the one that we want. If that's the one we want, I'd take Victor Gyökeres. I would take Victor Osimhen. I'm taking Marmoush. So there's others. There's others that I would take. But if I'm honest, if I'm honest, I just really am a little bit in love with Alexander Isak, man. I really am. I really am. So, yeah, that's the one I want, man. That's the one I want. But I don't think it's going to happen. Certainly isn't in January. There we go. Last few questions as we come to a close. Here we come from David. He says, would you rather see Lawless or Deji in the Big Brother house? Do you know what? That's a great question. That's a great question, isn't it? I'll tell you what, let's do this for the chat now. Let's have a laugh. Seeing as we can have a laugh here tonight, can't we? Everybody on 12th Man has just entered the Big Brother house. Who wins? There you go. Let's ask the chat. Just give me a name. Anyone that's appeared on the 12th Man and the 12th Man, you tell me who wins. If they all go into the Big Brother house, every single one of us, who wins Big Brother? What a question that is, man. What a question. David R. Absolute legend. For me, Lawless is my bro, but Deji is one of the funniest I've met. So I'll pick Deji out of them. Deji is funny, man. Deji's winning so far, man. Everybody that's come on this channel before, who wins Big Brother? Deji's winning, man. Deji. Dan United would win with sympathy votes. Igal has got a mention. Dave Asprey has got a mention. Big up to Dave. He's absolutely loving life with Forest at the moment, by the way. Tom Canton would win. Lawless would win. Deji would take the public vote. Who else are we getting? Ty. Lee Gunner. Curtis Shaw, legend. You're big up to him. D versus Lawless. That would be a good Big Brother show episode. Lee Gunner would. Deji would. Igal. Julian. Good shout. Curtis Shaw. Me and my mum. Imagine that. Deji for the laughs. Big Jules. Expressions. Expressions hasn't really been on it much, to be fair. Domination on the TV station. I absolutely love that, man. That is class, man. That is class. That's amazing. Who else have we got here, man? Who do people think would win Big Brother if we all went in there? Curtis Shaw, Julian, Expressions, Big Jules, Lee Gunner. Who else we got? Robbie, Turkish, Yardman. Who else have we got? Saeed, Troops, Lee Judges, Sophie, Lee Judges. Yeah, man, there's loads of people. You know what it does is it proves to me how many people have actually been on 12 man. It's absolutely crazy. What a question that is, by the way. What a question. I love Big Brother as well years and years ago. I know it come back. It's not quite the same, is it? Not quite the same. Let's get to these questions. But great question, though, David. Absolutely quality question that was. Absolutely quality. Still going. People are still going, by the way. Billy, just to see that Billy has been mentioned. Lee, Chris Hudson. Honestly, there's some fantastic. Imagine 12-man Big Brother house coming in 2025. Do you know what? I'm going to have to ask that question again with a panel. I really am. Cecil gets a mention. Lee Judges gets a mention. Soph gets a mention. Billy gets a mention. Wow, all of you guys, you love the panel list, man. You really do. It's nice to know that no one thinks I will win it. Cheers, guys. Love you too. This one comes in from Chanzo Sports. Who would you play in the left 8 midfield position for the rest of the season? Would it be Rice, Marino, or someone like Ethan or Erdegaard? Well, listen, if it was me personally, I would play Party and Rice in a double pivot and then Erdegaard in the 10. I don't like Rice in the 8. I think Marino is probably one of the better 8s that we've got, but I would love to see Ethan Nwaneri there. So I would play Rice, Nwaneri, and Erdegaard probably. It's probably what I would do if we had to play that system. Or I'd play Party, Nwaneri, and Erdegaard and drop Rice because I don't like Rice in the 8. So for me, it would be 2 holding midfielders, double pivot of Rice and Party, and then Erdegaard floating around in that 10 so that you can actually try and get the left side working as well. That's what I would do, man. That's what I would do. A great question, bro. Someone comes in from Afsar. He says, why did Edu leave? He was not happy with transfers, apparently. I don't know, if I'm honest with you, bro. I'm not sure. What do I think about this one? Real talk. I do believe that the reason he went is because he had an opportunity at Forest that he didn't want to turn down. I think that's probably most of why he went. I don't think there was a role for him at Arsenal in the area of the board that he wanted to be a part of. I think he wanted to have an opportunity of going for Vinay's old job. When they give that to Richard Garlick, he probably felt that he was either pushed out or wasn't wanted in a role other than being just our kind of transfer guru. And I think he wanted to be more than that. So I think he's seen it as progression at Forest. I don't think there's been a big fallout and he's not happy with Arteta. He doesn't like the Cronkies and all this. I just don't personally feel that's the truth. So, but we see. I don't know, Afsar. It could be. Wolsey says, who do you think will finish higher? Newcastle, Arsenal, or Forest? I think Arsenal will finish the highest out of those 3 clubs, but I actually do believe that Newcastle will finish higher than Forest. I think Forest will definitely take a dip, but I don't think it's going to be a dip that takes them towards 15th, 16th, like they predicted they'd probably finish at the start of the season. I actually thought they'd go down this year. Jamie Carragher did as well. Quite a few other pundits had them to go down because I just felt that what Nuno had done was not quite good enough, but this season he's been phenomenal. I actually think so far he's been manager of the season. I don't think we can even deny the fact that he's been phenomenal. I think Arnie Slot definitely deserves a mention, but I think Iriola, as good as he's been, and Marco Silva, as good as he's been, I think we have to look at Nuno right now. They're sitting in second place. It's absolutely unbelievable. And it's embarrassing to some of the other teams, to be fair, to be allowing Forest to come in and just bop us all off the park. They've been phenomenal. You have to take your hats off to them. And I think what Nuno's done has been outstanding. This one comes in from Yasin and said, I feel there's too much yes men at the club, and that's why he's so stubborn. Yeah, I think they want yes men. I think Cronkies want yes men. Wenger was a little bit of that, and everyone around him was a little bit like that as well. I think we've had that for quite some time, to be honest. And I think that needs to be looked at personally. DJ says, if we bought in a striker we needed, would you keep Jesus and Havertz as backups or sell one? I'd keep all three of them because I think we need them, man. Jesus is the one that I believe we should be playing on the right-hand side now. Havertz is the 9, and Trossard and Martinelli can fight for that left-hand side. Then you've got Waneri and either Trossard or Martinelli to bring on from the bench. Marino to come on from the bench, even though I'm not too sure what he does. You've got Partey and Rice that can fight for that 6 with Jorginho as backup. Ødegaard starts. Waneri's coming on for him. So he's still got some quality, but the manager's got to get the best out of it. If we bought the striker we need, however, he starts and then Havertz is used as a sub. Jesus wide right. But what we'll probably do is we'll play him in midfield because he's obsessed with him. So it's a worry. And I think this Havertz signing, he's going to fall on that sword, man. He really is. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, Scott says, what manager would you want if you don't win shit? People keep asking me this, and the answer is there's nobody better than Mikel Arteta, so there is nobody. So when he goes, we'll have to fold the club. No, look, when he does decide to leave or get sacked or decides to walk or whatever it be, if it is this season and he was to say, see you later, if that does happen, which I don't think it will, I think he's going to be here for a few years. But if he does underachieve this season and we were asking him to be replaced, I would want Carlo Ancelotti. I would want Simone Inzaghi. I would want a manager, if you wanted somebody a little bit younger or a little bit more modern day, then I would go for Xabi Alonso. Or if you wanted somebody who had a proven winning mentality or CV, then you go for the former, the Ancelottis of this world. That's what I would say. But there's a lot of people that are sitting there saying that there's, there's nobody better than him because I don't want a Simeone or a Conte or a Mourinho or a Tuchel or somebody like that. I just think it's madness, to be fair, because what you're getting with Conte and Simeone and Mourinho is a winning CV plus what Arteta's doing at the moment to try and win 1-0 every game. So, bizarre. Would you consider Alonso, someone said? Yes, I would, 100%, because he's a winner. With Bayer Leverkusen, by the way. Sue says, if we sell Kai and Jesus for 50, would you take it? No, I think we can get more than that, if I'm honest. I don't think we get much more. I mean, we signed Havertz for 65 million. We ain't getting that back. If we was to sell Havertz, I think people would probably pay 35, 40 million for him. And I think people would probably pay like 20 for Jesus tops. So you ain't far off, Such, to be fair. I don't think we're getting much more than 50 million. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy for the money they're on. William says, how can you build and maintain a team's chemistry by playing players out of position all the time? Yeah, look, this is a really good question. And it's one that I've definitely looked at. I'm not really sure why he overthinks so much and why he has to allow everybody to be so versatile. He wants Timber and he's trying to play him right back and then left back. Partey at midfield, then at right back. Then we've got Tomiyasu going right, then left. Got Zinchenko inverting all over the field. We've got right wingers now that are Jesus and then Havertz and then Martinelli. Left wingers, obviously he's had Trossard or Martinelli or Jesus over there. The left 8 has been Rice, it's been Havertz, it's been Fabio Vieira, it's been Smith Rowe, it's been Marino, it's been God knows who else. Let's just play players in their best position. Because actually, when you look at our players that are fit, I think we've actually got some good players in each position. David Raya is a good goalkeeper. Saliba and Gabriel are a fantastic partnership. Calafiori, I think, is a really good player. Timber's a brilliant right back. Ben White's a brilliant right back. Partey's a brilliant 6. Rice is a brilliant 6. Ødegaard's a brilliant 10. I think you've got Saka, who's a brilliant wide right player. Havertz is a good number 9. So stop playing them all out of position. Just play them there. And when you can't play that one player there, you bring your backup into it. So what we should have is 11 players, and when one of those 11 isn't fit, the one from the next 20 from the next 11 comes in. So, for example, Ben White is currently injured, so Timber plays there. And if he was to get injured, Tomiyasu would play there. Calafiori is our left back. He gets injured. It's either Zinchenko or Lewis Skelly that comes in. Our left-sided centre back gets injured. Kivior comes in. If Rice gets injured, Partey comes in. If Partey gets injured, then Jorginho comes in. You play Marino in the left 8, and if he's not about, then you play Waneri there. Erdegaard. If he's not about, you play Waneri. Trossard and Martinelli left. Sterling and Saka right. Havertz and Jesus up top. It's quite simple. But unfortunately, we get an injury, and it's like, right, now we're going to have to play Jesus wide right. We'll drop Havertz into this number 8 role. We'll play Martinelli, who can kind of go through the middle, Trossard, and then him can interlink with us. No, let's stop this rubbish, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It really is. So I'm not a fan of it, if I'm honest. Not a fan of what he's doing at the moment. So, yeah, we have to see where we're at. Who else have we got in here? Let's take a look at some of these questions that we've got. This one comes in from Mike. He says, you've got one player in January, Dan. You've got 60 million. Who are you going for? Who am I going for? I'll tell you who I'll go for 60 million. Victor Gyökeres. If that's not enough to get him, Ademola Lookman, I think, would be one that I'd go for. Yeah, that's one that I'd go for. But we'll see. Raymond says, would you take Evan Ferguson on loan? No, I wouldn't. Not been impressed with him. I know he's only 19 and he's got a lot to do, but he can't get into Brighton's first team, so he's not going to win Arsenal a league. So no, not for me, mate. Not for me. This one comes in from Kevin. He says, another trophyless season. Do you think Madrid nab Saliba? No, I don't. Not this coming season. But I think we've got this season and one more with Saliba. And I think that will be it if we don't win anything. I think he'll get to 25 or 26. And I think he'll look at his career and think, what have I won here? Should I go somewhere else? Do they still want me? Are Real Madrid interested? That's why I hope Real Madrid. I was hoping they'd get Lenny Yoro, and I'm still hoping they'll get another couple of centre-backs before Saliba. Yeah, interesting. We shall see what happens. Steve says we should be all over Danny Olmo. What do you think, Dan? Yeah, I think we should, man. I think he'd be brilliant. I think we need him as well as somebody else, though. Another striker and him. But I think that would be brilliant. John Duran. Yeah, an interesting one, Stan. Hope you're well, bruv. Big up to Stan, the man. I think he'd be a great shout. But I don't know how much he'd cost. Because at 35 million, Chelsea and West Ham are sniffing around him. Well, he's going to be double that now. He's going to be double that. He really is. So I'm not too sure that that's a realistic one. And I don't think they're going to want him to go. Lookman or Kudus? Well, Kudus is the obvious choice because he's Premier League proven. Lookman didn't really do it in the Premier League with Fulham and Everton, did he? And Leicester. But I think Lookman's the one that's actually on fire. Kudus can only really play right and middle. I'm not too sure he can play on the left. I like Kudus a lot, though. So I probably would go with Kudus, to be fair. But he's 85 million release clause isn't until the summer. So I'm not too sure that's a realistic one. This one comes in from Mike. He says, would you blame Saliba for leaving? Personally think it's up to us to convince him. And if we can't do that, then who can blame him for leaving? Well, I said that about Fabregas, Van Persie, Sanchez, Ashley Cole. But everyone said it was out of order, that you like these people still. And Van Persie, why do you still like them? Well, because their ambition, the club didn't meet their ambitions. So they're going to go. And we're the same. If we're not showing them that we can win trophies and Champions Leagues, then our best players, Saliba, Saka, Erdegaard, Rice, Gabriel, they're all going to say, see you later. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to do. Wolsey says, Potts, don't you think Kudus would be perfect for Arsenal at the minute with Saka injured? He's versatile and can play across the front three. Yeah, I do. I think he'd be a phenomenal signing. I just don't know that it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah, I'm struggling with that one. Kudus, I like him, if I'm honest. I do like him. I've never really been a lover of him as to the degree of some. I think there's a couple of people that are really into it. Like, oh my God, this is an absolute must. I don't think he's unbelievable, like some would say, but I do think he's a good player. And he's one that I would look at 100%. So yeah, look, if he is available, I think we should be looking to be all over that. I just don't know that West Ham are going to, because I think they know that in the summer he's got this release clause. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to be looking at selling him in the summer for that release clause. That's where it's going to be. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at. I just, and if they do sell him this January, he's going to be like 90 million because they're going to get 85 in the summer. So they're going to say, well, we're going to get 85 in the summer. So if you want him now, then it's going to cost you more. Do you know what I mean? Or it's going to at least cost you 85. That's the way I would look at it. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It is tough. So it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, people, we're going to leave it there. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button. We've only managed to get 188 likes. So please let's make that 250 likes. All you've got to do is hit the like and subscribe button. We're so close to 30K. We're on 29 now. Let's get to 30K for the new year. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you're in to win a chance to get to the Emirates, or of course any football game of your choice. A football match day package up to £500 is being drawn tomorrow night, so please get your tickets. It's only 99p, people. 99p. In time for New Year, you could start 2025 with a trip to the Emirates or any football game or stadium of your choice. Please make sure you click on the link in the description or in the pinned comment section on Reality Raffles and make sure you're following them. They are fantastic. The prizes they've got are unbelievable. It's not just football, it's concerts, it's gigs, it's music, it's everything that you dream of. So please make sure that you go and check them out and hit that like and subscribe on their stuff as well. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go and spam the chat of Staffy TV, who is going to be going live very soon. Make sure you say 12th man raid, Dan Potts sent me, and go and show them some love. We're out of here, people. Take care and good night. Up the Arsenal.